Hello and welcome back to David's Garage, where you find me back in Alberta after completing a 2,000-mile road trip in my 1974 BMW 2002. I went to Vancouver Island and the trip was unreal. The car held up great. I only have two minor hiccups that I'll talk about in a bit, but I suppose I should start at the beginning. I mean, back in December. Not that December, that's a little too early. We'll start in the last December when I bought the car. When I purchased this 2002 Tii, it had been hiding in a dark garage for quite some time with a thick blanket of dust covering the car and all the parts on top. The owner had bought it from his dad in 1978 and was quite the BMW enthusiast. Back in the day, he had installed a limited slip, 5-speed each 21 cars, and lots of suspension parts. He even turboed the car at one point. He drove the car daily up until the 90s, and his last big road trip was to California. Even the sun visor was signed by Hans Stuck when he was down there. Very cool. Anyway, fast forward to winter 2018, I drove up to Edmonton with a truck and trailer and filled the car and truck with parts and came home. It was completely full. Time for my favorite game, slammed or full of parts. It might be the second one. Oh my god. When I got the car home, I honestly didn't have too much hope for it. It was quite rough looking and looked kind of tired. But as soon as I got it running, I knew I would have some fun. You can watch my project series to see all the work I did, but essentially I fixed some rust, cleaned the interior, made sure it was mechanically sound, and then daily drove it for a bit before gaining the confidence to take it to Canada's beautiful Wild West coast. Just getting close to Canmore now, and it's such a beautiful day, I had to get the drone out. let's start at the beginning of the trip. I left nice and early last Sunday and made it to Victoria in one day. Now those two hiccups I was talking about earlier, they happened on this trip. The odometer was at 39,999, and when it was rolling over to 40,000, it just stopped working. But it only stopped working for about 30 minutes or so, and then it somehow fixed itself, which was great. The other problem was the passenger window. It went all the way down nicely and then completely stopped working. The handle just did nothing. It had no feeling or anything, which was actually kind of funny. But I had to do some ferry side fixing, took the door card off, just pulled the window up by hand and put a vice grip. My life is definitely ridiculous. Welcome back to David's Ferry Side Assistance, where we look at broken windows and fix them quite permanently. Shouldn't move. Just a bunch of new cars and then this. See, it's times like these that only reinforce the fact that I'm normal and everyone else is weird. My first stop was Victoria. From Victoria I headed up to Parksville, and in Parksville they had these sand sculptures, which are very, very well done sand castles essentially. Here's a few videos. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about the process, but it was cool to see.
I can't live without you. I can't breathe without your love.
So from Parksville, I took the road up to Tofino, which was an unreal day. Took the drone out at Mackenzie Beach, and here's that footage. It was awesome.
I can't breathe without your
The next day, I headed out to Ucluelet for a whale watching tour. Now the weather wasn't exactly the best. Saw my first sea otter as well, which was really cool. I don't have it on footage. And then a sea lion island, which they just looked like the laziest things, but it was funny to see as well.
I can't live without you. I can't breathe without your love.
From there, I headed down to Victoria again, and then through Port Renfrew, and also saw Mystical Beach and I think Botanical Beach on the way. Really nice beaches, and there's a backpacking trail that I got to do one day. That was sweet. Port Renfrew, there's not much in the town, but there's this little restaurant called the Bridgeman, and the view was incredible. Invited by Daryl's Deco Co. to a drift event at Western Speedway. It was held by Capital Drift, and it was so cool. There's Mazda Miatas, BMW E30s, there's a Nissan pickup truck, and a Dodge Durango drifting. It was so cool. Those guys looked like they just had a riot. and just very good talent as well. Like, some of the drivers were quite good, so that was cool to see. I got the drone out, got some sweet footage. You can watch the video here, and yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Let me show you something.
Then I went back to Victoria, went mountain biking with my buddy, and I have to thank Barb and Matt for letting me stay at their place. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. And then back to the mainland. On Sunday, there was the Okanagan Dream Rally, which I just had to see. There's around 200 supercars. Daily Driven Exotics was there, Steve's Point of View, Alex Choi, they're all there, and it was very cool to see those cars. I mean, compared to my my 1974 Rust Bucket, it was cool. There was also some old Camaros and like Mustangs and stuff too in the event, which was cool. Just a very diverse selection of cars. And it's cool to see them moving. I mean, you walk in a car show and all the cars are sitting. It's a totally different experience if you can hear them and see them moving. It was awesome. Thanks for watching anyway. I'm heading down to California in about a week in my E9, and I hope to actually get some better footage and stuff of me and the car, and well, of course Monterey and the car shows. Should be unreal. I'm kind of getting used to this vlog thing. I mean, being on camera is still a little weird, but yeah, whatever. Hope you guys enjoy. The cars, actually, I love this thing. It's been a riot. It's held up great, other than those two small issues. Like, it's never left me stranded yet, and it just seems to keep on ticking, which is great. I don't know what else to say.